Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Kiara Zereski, and I'm the Educational Program Coordinator here at the Center for Entrepreneurship, which is part of the College of Engineering at the University of Michigan. I'm the point person for the undergraduate ENTR courses, and I advise CFE Student Org and Powered. ENTR courses are transdisciplinary, open to all schools and colleges across U of M. And I'm very pleased to be joined today by three guests, Ali Farmer, Nick Kassar, and Emily Tumunia. Thank you so much for joining me today. So let's start with a round of introduction. If you could just tell me a little bit about yourself and how you were involved with CFE. Emily, let's start with you.
Yeah, of course. I'm Emily Tumunia. I'm a senior at the University of Michigan. I'm majoring in cognitive science with a minor in entrepreneurship. And within CFE, I have IA for several classes such as Entrepreneurship 407 and 390. Additionally, I'm a member of ELP, which is an organization within the CFE, as well as Empowered, a club here on campus.
Great, thank you so much. Nick?
Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Nick. I'm also a senior here at Michigan studying economics and going into finance. My encounters with the CFE all started when I studied abroad in Portugal freshman year. And ever since then, I've been an instructional aide for 2 years. And my entrepreneurial goal is to make my own startup that creates some sort of positive social change in my society.
No, that's awesome. And then Ali.
Hi everyone, my name is Ali Farmer. I'm a recent grad. I'm from Michigan. I did major in econ with a minor in business. I was a TA for Entrepreneurship 407 and Entrepreneurship 560. And I've also been a part of the Grand Rapids track, which is really awesome. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
Thanks for being here. So I'm just gonna go into the first question. So how did each of you hear about CFE? And was it your freshman year or sophomore year? When did you hear about CFE? And Ali, if you could start.
So how I got involved with CFE was actually registering the day of freshman year. The person registering me was just like, hey, these classes are cool. Why don't you just take 407? I was like, okay, sure, why not? Entrepreneurship's cool. So I just kind of stumbled upon it, but throughout my years at Michigan, I was just involved since day one. So yeah, I'm very happy that I found the CFE.
And Nick, you said that your first experience was study abroad. So is that how you learned about CFE, or was there a previous encounter?
Yeah, so similarly to Ali, I did decide to enroll in Entrepreneurship 407 hour. And because of that, I actually heard about the study abroad opportunity. And I wasn't really aware that CFE was prevalent on campus. But then as soon as I took that course and obviously transitioning into the study abroad, I became very close with some of the people in CFE and just really grew to love it.
And what about you, Emily?
Yeah, very similarly to Nick and Ali, I think it all really started with 407. I lived on North Campus freshman year and would always walk through the Duderstadt Center and kind of just saw posters for this cool class that CFE was offering and decided to take it. And I think that's where the relationship with CFE really started.
Well, then since you've all been part of 407, I'm just going to ask a little bit about 407. So what drew you to 407 as a student? And do you have a memorable speaker or a theme, a topic, or something that happened during 407 that is memorable to you? And if you could start, Ali, again.
In 407, I was a TA this past semester, and I had the privilege to be on stage and interview my boss, Wendell Brooks from Intel Capital. At the time, I was joining the team for full-time now. And I think it was really a unique experience to be able to, sit in the seat, in the hot seat across from my manager and Jonathan, and really get that perspective. Since being a student, 4 years ago in that class, it was really exciting coming full circle and being able to, be on stage and be one of those people. So it's very memorable.
Yeah, it's a great connection. There's a lot of networking going on at E-Hour. So, and then what about you, Emily?
Yeah, so I think what drew me to 407 was just the idea of what kind of class it was. It's just a 1-hour class where you get to listen to amazing, bright-minded people every Friday, and it's the perfect time in the day. You kind of have nothing to do, and it's just honestly like a relaxing, enjoyable class where you can really listen to these people and hear their stories, most of who were University of Michigan alum. And I think one of the more memorable times was when Joe Malkoon spoke, who is the CEO of Nutshell, and I actually maintained a relationship with him, and the following summer worked for one of his other companies, Cahoots in Ann Arbor. So I think that really goes to show how even just like a couple conversations you have in E-Hour in these classes and with these people that come to speak could really make a huge change in your life and lead to some great opportunities. So that definitely all started in 407, and I'm glad to say that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I completely agree with Emily. I'm the type of person that really just enjoys hearing about people telling their own stories, especially extremely smart people, and that's all the speakers that come to speak to 407. Two speakers in specific come to mind. So the first is Rahm Emanuel, who was at the time, he was the mayor of Chicago, and he also ran Think Chicago, which was all about like ensuring the youth in Chicago received a good education and were actually able to attend college. And then another speaker that I really loved listening to was Steve Horowitz. And at the time, he was the president of technology at Snapchat. And it's really cool, especially because I know during that time, there was some crazy big Snapchat update that released right before he came to speak. And he talked all about that. So it's really cool to just see the transition from obviously these people's stories and their entrepreneurship lives to just like our real world experiences.
Yeah, I have to say also from a staff perspective, the cool thing about it is that every week the speaker has a different background or industry. And since 407 is open to all schools and colleges, hopefully, there's enough speakers that tailor different interests. And so enough companies, are different. And so enough students enjoy the experience like the three of you did. So apart from 407, did any of you take any other class with CFE?
Another class that I took was 417, which is very related to 407. So basically 407 is for an hour. And then after the class, if you want, you can sort of join a discussion class, which is a much smaller, intimate setting with the same speaker who came to speak at E-Hour. But instead of about 400 people in the room, there's only really 15 or 20. So this is really where you get to make that one-on-one connection with the speaker. You can ask them directly questions about your own life, about their life. And it's really more of that conversation instead of that auditorium style. So I think that was a class where, again, connections are really made. And then another class that I actually IA'd for and helped teach was Entrepreneurship 390, e-commerce entrepreneurship, which is a really cool class with Rishi and Ryan, where you get to learn the ins and outs of e-commerce entrepreneurship. And with everything growing and going on right now, this has obviously come to become one of the most important aspects of a business and running things online. And that was definitely a really cool introduction for me into that space.
What about you, Nick?
Yeah, so I actually am pursuing the entrepreneurship minor. So I've taken all of the core classes for the minor, including entrepreneurial creativity and entrepreneurial business basics, along with what Emily said. So obviously 407, E-Hour, and 417, which is the discussion section. But I think one of my most memorable courses is that I was an IA for was Entrepreneurship 490, Urban Entrepreneurship. And in this class, we really got to tie everything we learned about from entrepreneurship in the core classes all to the city of Detroit. And growing up very close to Detroit, it was extremely interesting looking at all these different ways that we can help the community with startups and go on treks to visit different startups in Detroit, trying to do good things. So that was definitely one of my favorite classes.
I think the coolest thing about Urban is the Detroit trek, because you actually get to experience what you're learning about. And about the minor also, just so, for anyone who doesn't know, the minor that is run from Ross is open to all schools and colleges. So that's also a very neat opportunity. If a student, is an engineer and usually has classes with engineers, they take the minor and they get a chance to interact with students from different backgrounds and different colleges. And they have a lot of awesome classes. So thanks for sharing that. And then Allie.
Yeah, so similar to Emily, I was in Entrepreneurship 417 as well. And I thought it was a great way to connect with the speaker on a different level. And then similarly to both of you, I was also a TA for another class. And I was a TA for Entrepreneurship 560, which was the project management and consulting course. And I TA'd for that because I was really interested in learning what project management and consulting was. And I thought, it was a great way for me to get exposed to the class and learn all the things. So yeah, I think it was just a great experience to be exposed to other aspects of entrepreneurship.
And so just because you all mentioned it, something that really stick with you by being a TA, not necessarily maybe being a student in the class, but something that you took away from working so closely with an entrepreneur, one of our instructors. Allie, if you have something to share.
I think one of the impactful things about being a TA is just how closely you have, access to the smart minds and bright ideas behind these classes, because the people who teach the entrepreneurship classes are just so energized and excited and happy to be there. and being connected with people that are strongly connected in the community is just really valuable in itself. And also it's just fun to, be a part of an organization and a job that is just like really relaxed and really fun.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I really do agree with Allie here. The connections I made while being an IA were amazing. And during one of my courses in specific, I was actually trying to, get my own startup going. And I thought one of the coolest things was like being able to work with my professor, not because my professor had to, but because they genuinely wanted to just help me out with answer any questions I had, and, help me through the whole entire process of creating a business.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. And I think one of the cool things is I was also an IA for 407, which I didn't mention before, but with that, you kind of get like a behind the scenes look at all of the speakers, and you kind of really get to talk to them as much as you want. I mean, you're the one helping them on stage or the one taking them to lunch afterwards. So I think being an IA for any class, if you get the chance, is really a cool opportunity, and you can get to meet some of the most amazing people ever.
And do you think that taking an ENTR class differentiated you from other people in your major or other people at U of M, or do you find you take something different from CFE classes than your major classes?
In my experience, obviously economics teaches you all about thinking analytically about things, problem solving as a whole, and obviously about the whole economy. But entrepreneurship gave me a way to apply all that information and apply all the economic theory I've learned in my classes and use it to my advantage when it comes to, creating or managing a business.
Yeah, just to echo Nick, as another econ major, it's really easy to just get stuck in like the finance, like corporate finance, banking mindset. And I think what was really refreshing about the ENTR courses is just how creative they are. I think it's really fun to be around people that are excited and eager for a challenge and ready to, be on the cutting edge of what's next in the world. And I think having access to that information and the people who want to work on cutting edge technology is just really valuable. And it's just like, we learn about the coolest things that are happening, right? Like we are learning about the future.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. Cognitive science is a little different than econ, and I don't really get much of that business edge with cognitive science. So I would say taking these ENTR classes has really allowed me to gain that. I'm learning about all these things, as Ali mentioned. This is really where I learned to kind of look at the news every single day and see what's going on, what new technologies are being created. And these new classes just really give you that entrepreneurial mindset edge that I think is really important to have in life, no matter where you decide to go. But with any social science, entrepreneurship classes can really kind of benefit that and highlight that to any degree you want.
And then this is our last question, but if you were speaking to an undergraduate student, if you had like a small pitch or just like a sentence or two on why they should take ENTR, could be very similar to what you already said, but if you could just like pitch it to them very quickly in an elevator, like how would you convince a freshman to take an ENTR class?
Yeah, I can go first with this one.
Okay.
So my favorite way to pitch it would be, it's a way to learn about all areas of a business and how they all work together and run simultaneously successfully. And that's the main pitch I would give.
I guess I would say if you want to meet insanely intelligent people while identifying great opportunities and having fun while doing it, then there's no better way than taking an entrepreneurship class.
Oh my God, I love it.
And then for me, what comes to my mind is if you're looking to be heavily involved in something that really challenges you personally and professionally, and it allows you to explore really fun things in this world and exciting things, and the Center for Entrepreneurship really just teaches you how to be a great leader. So if you're interested in those three things and ready to be there, then the ENTR courses and CFE are just a great place to be.
I love it. I love the fact that you talked about being a leader. Well, this is all the time that we have, so I want to say thank you again to my guests for their time, and I hope that this has helped answer any questions that you might have or possibly get you thinking about some that we didn't get to answer. And we invite anyone watching to visit cfe.umich.edu/summer and check out all the resources that are available on our website and our programs, classes, and offerings. And if anyone wants to make an appointment with me, I invite you to do so by going on our website, cfe.umich.edu/advising. And again, my name is Chiara, and I'm the Educational Program Coordinator. And thank you so much for spending the time, and go Blue.